hit the button. What's going on, everybody? Oh, it's so bright. Oh, it's so bright. Ugh, I have to turn the brightness down on my monitor. Nope, that's not a dark screen. There's a darker screen. What's going on, everybody? Oh, goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, so we're here this week. We're going to talk about Crimson Desert a little bit in the beginning, and then we're going to see a video that was shared in the Discord. But I have been absolutely addicted to Crimson Desert. I need to talk about it with you guys. The game is so good. What's going on, the Pineappler? Are you still fishing in Crimson Desert? Please tell me you started doing something other than fishing. That would be awesome. But as always, let's start off the stream. We'll say a prayer for God's graces and for those who might need God's graces. So, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost, amen. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Amen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I talked with my wife. So I bought Crimson Desert and played it for about an hour and a half, which you guys saw. And then that weekend I got extremely busy, and the rest of the week I was busy and just tired from work, wasn't able to dedicate some time to it. So I finally dedicated time to Crimson Desert this last weekend. And even when I started off playing, I was like, this is intriguing. And I did something with Crimson Desert I have not done with a video game in a long time. Predominantly, I usually don't play video games during the week because oftentimes I'm watching the time. I've got to go to bed, relatively early because, well, I just wake up early. I don't know if you guys know this. I've worked blue collar jobs for the last all of my life. And so 5 o'clock is usually the latest I can sleep in. Yes, 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 a.m. in the morning is the latest I can sleep in. And so I generally don't play during the week. But my wife is like, look, she's like, you spent $70 on this game. She's like, you need to actually sit down and play it. And I was like, all right, this weekend, we're going to have some iffy weather. We actually did have a nice day on Sunday. I was like, all right, Friday night, I'm going to get home. I'm diving into Crimson Desert. I put an unhealthy amount of hours into that game. It is, I am so addicted to this game. Like, all I want to watch is Crimson Desert content on YouTube. It is so freaking good. What's going on, Jonathan Grant? Good to see you, man. Very good to see you. And it's just been insane. So one of the things that I've been talking about with my buddy is how good this game actually is and the conversations around it. But before we get into all of that, I want to shout out one of the subscribers of the channels, one of the OGs, been here for multiple years, wrote a book and actually based a character off of me. This is Legends of Shallar by Maji Nell. Daniel P. Riley is the editor. Gino B. was an editor as well. The Animated Moon did illustrations. And my little girl ended up doing some artwork for this book. So we are going to copy that link and share it. And we're doing a special live stream tomorrow night to talk about this book, the journey of this book, everything that it took to get this thing out. But yes, I want everybody to go check out. This started as a meme on my channel. This started as a freaking meme. I remember when it started. I used to do a segment on the channel on Wednesday nights called Comic Shop Wednesday. And I was still on Twitter at the time. And I would just have a bunch of people post their projects they were working on. I'd go over them. I'd get a panel of I would get a panel of subscribers on, and we would all go and think what we would think. And there was a lot of people that spent a lot of money on that. And one of the early jokes, somebody was like, dude, hey, you missed a project. And I was like, oh, and it was one of my fans trolling me. It was one of my, and he was a really good guy. I talked with him in DMs. It turned in more of a friend. I haven't heard from him in a while, but he had a kid and all that. So he just kind of got out of the community. Totally fine. Good for him. But he's like, hey, no, yeah, the Legends of Shallar. So I'm sitting there scrolling through the Twitter feed looking for this book that supposedly I missed, and it just became a joke because they trolled me live. Well, supposedly that inspired Maji to write this book, and it's been years in the making. And finally this book is out. You can see Reese here, the name. Governor Reese, that's a play on my name. And she took years to do this. We're going to do an interview tomorrow night. We're doing an interview tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Central, same time we always go live here. You're getting an extra live stream this week. We're going to do an interview with one of my old hosts from Iron Age Nights, as well as the writer of this book, Maji, who you guys have probably seen on the channel if you've been here for a long time. I cannot shout this out enough, guys. Go check this book out, buy the paperback, because they like to do online BS. Go. I am so freaking proud of Maji for doing this. I will be purchasing this book, and it's absolutely fantastic. The Pineapple, the 2 times I was going to be at Comic Shop Wednesday, I canceled. Yeah, I apologize about that. I'm not the most consistent ever. I try to be consistent, but man, sometimes life just hits me hard. I'm trying to be more consistent lately. What I really need to do is I need to get consistent. But you guys need to go check out Legend of Shallar. It was born from the community. It was born from the A Drink with Crazy community. It was born from the passion that we talk about indie developers or indie people writing their own stuff, doing their own thing. This has been a long time coming. I am so excited. Guys, go check this out. Maji, you have no need to say thank you. I was going to do this come hell or high water. I am so freaking excited. Yeah, I did get sick. That's the problem when you streamed as much as I did back then. I was streaming 4 times a week back then, and I was, whether on somebody else's channel or my own channel. So go check out Legends of Shallar on Amazon. Ladies and gentlemen, the hardback comes out on Wednesday. Again, this is going to be an absolutely awesome stream. I hope that you guys are there. Share the word, spread the word, tell everybody about it. It's going to be great. And without any further ado, I want to get into Crimson Desert. So, my goodness, it's so bright. I need to turn down the brightness of my monitors. I just do. So, Crimson Desert is the game that's getting all of the talk, at least in my YouTube timeline and on my Facebook timeline predominantly, because I might have joined a Crimson Desert group. And it's really hard when you join groups on Facebook because they want to give away a lot of secrets, and it's just like, oh, don't watch that. Because I'm trying to go in but a game like this with as many systems has, honestly, sometimes it's beneficial to watch like the 15 tips you didn't know about, because 13 of them are going to be tips that I absolutely knew about, and 2 of them are going to be like, oh my God. So Crimson Desert came out. IGN reviews it, gives it a 6. All these other companies out there review this game and give it just an incredibly low score. And even reviewers that I respect are talking about, oh, the opening hours of the game, they're just a slog, this, that, and the other thing, which I really feel like is a discredit. I don't understand why they're saying it. Now, my buddy also picked this game up. He played it. We've been playing it since it released, so before all the patches. And we're looking at this game, and we don't understand what people's complaints were in the beginning. We're clueless. We're like, we don't get it. We don't understand what you're saying, because we didn't have any problems with it. We went into this game going, okay, the game's probably not going to play like any other game out there. And we're just going, whatever the game tells us to do, that's what we're going to do. And so that's what we did. We had a grand time with it. We took our time, looked at the systems. We looked at the menus, which everybody's like, oh, menus upon menus upon menus. Guys, it's a modern game menu. Like, what are you talking about? It's got like 4 different categories you can choose from. And then you go into each of those categories of menus. And then there are sub menus that you like. This is modern gaming. Like, it's not complicated. Like, oh, the controls are so hard. No, they're not. They're They're like half of what a fighting game is you never played a fighting game. I was talking with my buddy. He's like, you know what this reminds me of is the combos that you could do in Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, the movie tie-in game that they released back on the Xbox, which is upstairs right now. And we are just having a blast with this game. Even people that we really like as like YouTubers and stuff, just saying the opening hours are boring or the opening hours are a slog. He and I are sitting there going, we don't know what you're talking about. That makes no sense to us because the opening hours, like you paid attention to the systems, you're learning, you're constantly getting new power-ups, you're like, what are you talking about? And what we came to the conclusion of was that, oh, it's not an HBO special in the opening hours. It's not all these flashy cut scenes. No, the game has little to no story, which honestly is exactly what I expected and exactly what I wanted. And so going into this last weekend, let's switch over to here. No, on Games Radar, Crimson Desert hits a new Steam peak of over 276,000 players on its second weekend as Pearl Abyss removes AI art and continues to improve divisive controls. I don't like the way that they're saying divisive controls. These are people who I don't think have ever played video games before 2010. They've not played video games before 2010. I remember back in the days when the old Magics were written, games actually used to be like this, which is what makes me so freaking excited about this game. It's so freaking good. But almost a 30,000K increase from opening weekend. So the opening weekend had negative reviews from game journos. People say, oh, the controls, woe is me. And they're like, and then the AI art thing came out, which it was a picture on a wall. It was a stand-in thing that they put in. It was a picture on a wall. I don't care. It wasn't used for a bunch of other stuff. It was a picture on a wall. Who cares? It's really interesting to see this. So Crimson Desert's second weekend was even bigger than the first, than its first, as the game reached a new peak Steam player count record. I would really like to know what Xbox and PlayStation are reporting here. This would be very, very fun for me. We already knew Crimson Desert was one of the biggest new games of 2026 when it was announced the game had sold 3 million copies in 5 days post-launch, even after launching with mixed Steam reviews. Yeah, it launched with mixed Steam reviews because people were believing the game journos and people who've never played video games were trying it out. I'm sorry, if you thought that was complicated on launch, you've never played a game of chess in your life. This weekend saw the developers replace AI-generated assets. Okay, so these are placeholder assets that were like pictures on walls. These are not characters. These were not stuff like that. They say, oh, AI, is this technically correct? Yes. Is this misleading? Yes, they're trying to mislead you. Okay, the game journos, my buddy said this the other day. He goes, I don't know what it is. He goes, but it just feels like game journalists really have a problem with Asian developers if their eyes don't slant the correct way. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, Japanese developers, they don't get any, no, they're praised, they're loved, this, that, and the other thing. But a game from China comes out or a game from Korea comes out. We're talking about like Black Myth Wukong. I believe Stellar Blade was Korean as well. And some other games, like they do not like Chinese and North Korean games. And it's just like, why? A lot of people are like, well, maybe it's because China and North Korea aren't giving the access that would normally get there. But I'm going to be honest. I think IGN's just racist against Koreans and that they are playing favorites with the Japanese. I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea, but it certainly seems like it. And I've got no issue saying it here because this game is absolutely fantastic. And it's destroying IGN's little bit of credibility that it already had. So going on, we already knew Crimson Desert was one of the biggest new games of 2026 when it was announced. The game sold 3 million copies in just 5 days post-launch. And even after launching with mixed Steam reviews, it kept going. This weekend saw developers replace AI-generated assets. Again, couple of pictures on walls, nothing nothing like characters or anything like that, which it previously apologized for accidentally letting slip into the retail version. Okay, basically what they said is, yeah, we had some placeholder assets in there while we were building the game, meant to go replace them. We totally forgot. That actually happens in games and has happened before. And a lot of people are like, oh, look at this Easter egg. Guess what? Because they used to just rip pictures from Google and those would slip into games. Okay, on top of that, game got even bigger on PC. Per SteamDB, Crimson Desert hit a new all-time peak on Sunday, March 29th. The game hit a high of 276,261 concurrent players, beating out the opening weekend's peak of 248,000. Almost 30,000 new people checked out this game, which is absolutely unreal for a video game. Usually your second week, you're going to see a drop-off. They didn't. The Sunday of the opening weekend for a game is typically when we see its all-time peak occur in most cases, and yet Crimson Desert managed to jump past it. It could be a case of people waiting until the AI slop was removed, which is not a fucking thing. People didn't even know they had AI assets in the game. This is a lie. This right here is them sacrificing any sort of journalistic integrity. This is bullshit from the game, or just excellent word of mouth that has since caused the Steam reviews to come back into very positive. Most likely it's this one. It's good word of mouth. People didn't know the AI slop crap didn't come out until days after the game released. That's them sacrificing their integrity on the cross of narrative, right? And then over here from a few days ago, this is from Forbes. Okay, Crimson Desert reviews go from 51% to 80% positive in 4 days. Okay, and you can see here, this is not apparently, that's OpenCritic, but it's apparently not. There we go. Crimson Desert's right here. You can see the OpenCritic, top critic average, the critics recommend, players rating. Oh my goodness. Why are players and critics so divisive? IGN gave it a 6, Eurogamer gave it a 3, PC Gamer gave it an 80, which I feel is probably closer. Good for you, PC Gamer. The Gamer gave it a 4 out of 5, which is also 80. Game Informer, 7 out of 10. GameSpot, 7 out of 10. VG, 24. No. And Hardcore Gamer. Again, those are those. But yet the game keeps slapping. The game keeps absolutely decimating the industry. And then over here on Metacritic, you can see generally favorable for the Metascore. The user score is an 8.8. So basically, what this is telling me is that if you remove the critics, the game journos, the people who are here to spread a narrative about video games, guess what you're going to do? You're going to increase the score of this game by like 10 points. The game is absolutely fantastic. The combat mechanics are hugely fun. The exploration is wild, and the exploration is also rewarding. The reason that it's rewarding is because every time you go somewhere, or I would say not every time, but like a greater portion out of 10, whatever that greater portion is, when you go somewhere, it's like you just found armor. You just found cool looking stuff. You just found a thing that you can use, that you can build and you can develop in the game. And you're just like, whoa, this is so cool. Wait, you mean when I explore this cave, I don't just get meaningless crap that I already have? I actually get cool looking armor. I get this other thing or that other thing that actually makes me feel like I'm advancing in the game, because you don't level up level 1 through 100. You go out, you explore the world, you gather materials, you gather new stuff, and you go into your armor and you start stacking your armor and you start upgrading your armor. It's an absolutely fantastic game. What I was saying earlier, before I got sidetracked, is what I've done something with this game that I haven't done for years, because I constantly have to watch my schedule, because I got to go to bed on time, because I got to get up at, between 4:30 and 5 in the morning. Like I said, if I sleep in, it's like 5 o'clock, and then it's a rush to get to work. But for me, so I have to go to bed early. Well, Sunday morning, I woke up early, took care of the dogs, got some coffee, and I was like, well, screw it, I'll keep playing. And I played all day on Saturday. And by all day, I mean I played for about an hour in the morning. I took my kids to their bowling league. I watched them bowl. We came back. We got back at about 11 a.m. in the morning, and I fired up Crimson Desert. And I don't think I put Crimson Desert down until about 1:30 Sunday morning. I then went to bed, Woke up around 5 o'clock in the morning, decided to get up and, well, I'm already awake, so might as well do it. Went downstairs, fired up Crimson Desert at about 6:15 Sunday morning, give or take. And then my 7 o'clock alarm went off. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just chill for a second. I'll play for a little while longer and then, go upstairs to see what the kids are up to when I hear them. I then looked down at my phone thinking, all right, I've been playing for about 45 minutes or so. I better go upstairs. Open my phone. It was 3 hours. What the hell happened? I went from 7 a.m. in the morning until 10. Felt like a short period of time. It was 3 hours. I just completely disappeared 3 hours of my time. And it felt so short. And that is what tells you this is such a compelling game. And I was doing side quests, exploration, finding new things. Right? One of the puzzles really stumped me, so I did cheat. I went online, but that being said, this game is so massive. Like, you're going to have to cheat at some point. I'm going to go as far as I can without looking up a bunch of stuff to figuring things out. But ultimately, what this comes down to is Pearl Abyss, I believe, actually made a game for gamers. Pearl Abyss actually made a game that has systems that will engage you as a person. And I think that I think that a lot of people went in with preconceived notions. It's why they started giving such negative scores in the beginning. They went in with preconceived notions about what an open world game should be. And the open world game has some combos in it. They're not crazy combos. They're like 2 or 3 button combos to do moves. It builds you up and builds you up and builds you up and shows you different moves as you're continuing on. People are like, well, some stuff is just really obtuse and I just don't know how to. And I couldn't figure out why people were saying this. I'm like, what do you mean the game's not showing you? Because my buddy and I are sitting there looking at this. And like I said, there was one puzzle. Now, the one puzzle that I ran into was like, oh, it shows you a map on a wall. It's got a bunch of different points on it. And it's like, oh, if I want to solve this puzzle right here, I have to do a ton of exploration, find the 4 different areas it's telling me about, and then see how to solve it. And I was like, I don't know if I necessarily want to take the time to do that. So I got lazy and I looked up how to solve it. And sure enough, you can solve it without going to those 4 different areas. But my buddy and I were sitting here going, why do everybody keep saying it's obtuse? And I finally came up with the conclusion. Crimson Desert doesn't tell you what to do. And by tell you, there's no neon glowing arrows that are like, go here. There's no big bright text that's like, make sure you do it exactly this way. It shows you. It shows you a game mechanic, puts it in your arsenal, and then expects you to remember that game mechanic later when you come up to a puzzle, when you come up to something that you could use. And it's so interesting that nowadays, because back in the day, games used to do that. They would show you a mechanic, they would show you another mechanic, they would show you another mechanic, and then expect you to use what you're being shown to solve the game's riddles and puzzles. And I think that the biggest thing that Crimson Desert is suffering from is not that it's a bad game, not that the controls are obtuse, but because people who are playing games now, 1, probably never played games before 2010, and 2, they're being shown, not told, how to play the game. Again, show, don't tell. It's a very, very big thing in movies. If you tell me that somebody is super smart in a movie, that's one thing. But if you show me how smart they are, you're like, oh, that's interesting. And it's so interesting because I see such a lack of show, don't tell in video games in today's industry. There are so many games out there that just expect you, or that just, there are so many games out there that you expect to just hold your hand, to guide you through all the things. You're not supposed to feel frustration. You're not supposed to feel perturbed or miffed or pick a word, right? You're just supposed to have this wonderful, nice experience. You're supposed to be able to put it on journalist mode and go through. Journalist mode is easy mode, by the way. Well, guess what? Crimson Desert doesn't have an easy mode. It doesn't. It's just the game. Jump in, go in. It gives you all the tools to go through the journey, to go through the adventure. It gives you all of the systems. All you have to do is use your eyes and watch what it's showing you. It does have a text box that pops up here and there. It's like, by the way, you can do this. but it's mostly showing you. It does have some tell, right? Everything's got some tell, but it's the ratio of show instead of tell that people are getting hung up on. And this is why I feel so many people out there are absolutely getting their shit wrecked by this game, is because they're used to being told. They're used to being told, be a good little gamer and do it just this way. And Crimson Desert doesn't do that. Crimson Desert says, here's a problem. It's like your dad. Crimson Desert's like your dad. It says, there's a problem in front of you. I've already given you the tools to solve the problem. Get it done by the time I get home from work. And you go, oh, crap. He's going to come home from work, and if I don't get this done, I'm going to be in big trouble. All of the differences with Crimson Desert, you would just get frustrated and go away. You wouldn't get your ass beat. For those that know, then you know. But no. It's like your dad. It gives you all the tools to solve the game in front of you, and all you have to do is to use those tools. I was watching Asmongold play it, and it's so funny because I love a lot of Asmongold's commentary. But when he was like, well, there's like 3 or 4 different ways to do this. Like I come up to a puzzle, and it's so funny. I could see him as he was making the logical train. He's like, yeah, it's like, well, this one, like, what do I do here? I've got, like, I can do this. I can do this. It's like, I have so many options. Like the game just gave me these options and I've got to figure it out. It's just like, it doesn't tell me what I even need to use here. And he's quickly kind of shot off of that and started kind of deviating from that because I think he realized, oh crap, I am supposed to figure it out. And then as he kept playing, he was like, yeah, now that I know the systems, like it's easy, but like I didn't know the systems. I had to figure it out. Yes, Asmongold. Games used to be designed for you to figure them out. Come on. You're one of the most, you did some of the most prolific guides when it comes to World of Warcraft in the last 20 years. Like, that's how you built your channel, by figuring things out and by solving problems that other people couldn't. And yet the guy who was able to solve problems in World of Warcraft can't seem to solve problems in Crimson Desert. I question your gamer card, good sir. Although that being said, I also watched you beat Simon from Expedition 33 in like 3 tries, and I was just like, what the hell? I didn't even want to attempt Simon because I heard horror stories about it. And then my buddy literally was like, man, he's like, I never really liked Asmongold. He's like, but I got to give him respect because he trivialized me. He's like, dude, I died to Simon like 20 times. So again, the game shows you all of these different systems you can use to solve the problem and just expects you to be like, yeah, use them. Figure it out. You have the tools. We've given you the tools, but which tool are you going to use to solve this problem? There's one tool to do it. We've given it to you. Figure it out. And honestly, I freaking love Crimson Desert for doing that. And I have been wanting to talk about this game. I want to play this game. But I'm here with you on the live stream. Unless you're watching the VOD. In that case, you're not here. You should be here on Mondays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Central. Like and share. Subscribe. Do all those things. I'm going to go back and talk to my live chat because they're here with me right now. Chat, what say you? Reminds me of OG Kingdom of Hearts. You mean Kingdom Hearts or Kingdom of Hearts? Maybe. These types of thank you, Maji-chan. You don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. Dude, I might have a problem. So Friday night before I started playing, I had almost 13 hours in the game. Nothing too crazy. Played a little bit last week. By the time I got done yesterday night, on Sunday evening, I had over 40 hours in the game. Yeah. The types of games that make time speed by are the best. Yeah, it's wild. I want more games with immersive sim elements. What do you mean by immersive sim elements? Get more, because I don't feel like there's immersive sim elements here. With fishing, it now tells you how to fish every time. See, that's the shit that I hate. Like they're putting these hand-holding things in there, and it just bothers me because they've made these updates. It's ridiculous, the pineapple, or I can't stand it. Journalist, well, my dad would just do it for me. I don't get it, right? Yeah, my dad wouldn't. My dad'd say, hey, I got to go to work. You need to do this by the time I get home. By the way, I think you sound almost exactly like Luke Stevens. I was watching a lot of Luke Stevens earlier today, actually. I was watching his live stream. But thank you for the compliment, dude. Luke Stevens is absolutely fantastic. I love his stuff. But again, yeah, it's really interesting that the updates that they're doing, they're putting these hand-holding things in there, and I fucking hate that. I hate that they're putting the hand-holdy stuff in there. Yeah, with fishing now, it tells you every time why. It already showed you once. Get good. Learn the systems. Engage with it. And it really makes me sad that they make games for the lowest common denominator now. It makes me very, very sad that they do this, and I just can't. I just can't stand it. It really is bothersome. All right, so this is a long video that was shared with me. And this was shared in the Discord, and I probably won't get to more videos after this, but this one was shared the other day. This is almost a 30-minute video, which means this is probably going to be an hour-long reaction. Okay? But this video comes from Mikey No More. Black Lives Matter, how to burn through goodwill and $90 million. Let's get into this.
You ever wonder how you could turn a grift into a multi-million-dollar enterprise? How you would take a model that revolves around you basically swindling people and then build it at an industrial scale?
Yep.
There's actually several ways to pull this off, but most
yeah, generally you have to not look like me, and I think in Minnesota there's a lot of people scamming the government right now.
of them are going to end with you in front of a judge and jury at some point. But there's this one trick that lets you grift to your heart's content and fuck around with donated funds for years without inevitably being convicted of some white-collar crime. Probably. It's called running a non-profit. Now, I'm not about to go on a...
Oh, man. Dude, nonprofits are notorious
Ran
for this.
about how all charity is a scam. There's a lot of very righteous nonprofits who've impacted countless lives in positive ways.
Yep.
Not all nonprofits are scams. A lot of them are, though. The nonprofit industrial complex has become an increasingly hefty behemoth, eating up millions from well-meaning marks all across the world every year to produce a whole lot of nothing.
He is 1,000% right. If you go look into nonprofits and their publicly disclosed information, what the CEOs make in a lot of nonprofits versus what actually goes to the mission and their mission statement is so wildly different. It's one of the reasons. So I told everybody, like, growing the hair out, right? Going to grow the hair out, going to donate it. I am not going to donate to Locks for Love because we looked into it, and Locks for Love is just not a good nonprofit. Now we're also going to look into this before I cut my hair, but it's not there. My hair is only about 4 inches. It's got to be 12 inches, giggity. But once we get to that point, I used to donate to Wigs for Kids when I would grow my hair out back in the day. So I'm thinking I'm going to do Wigs for Kids unless I find out that they are no longer a good nonprofit, but you do have to look into it. And so it's one of those things that whenever you're getting involved with any sort of nonprofit, you really, really need to make sure you do your research to make sure that the money that you're giving to that nonprofit is going where you want it to go, because oftentimes it does not. And that is something that's on you. If you're not responsible enough, if you're just like, oh, I'm going to donate to charity because it feels good. Never donate to charity because it feels good. Donate to charity because it's effective. Do your research. Do not be one of these brainlets. It's just like, yeah, I'll give $5 to this cause. It's totally not going to help the cause that I actually want. It's just going to make some CEO's bank account grow larger. Don't. That is morally reprehensible. You are morally reprehensible if you do not look into the charities that you are donating to. I'm sorry, in the day and age of information, you just are.
And I can't think of a better recent example of the nonprofit industrial complex at work than Black Lives Matter. There was once a point half a decade ago where you couldn't go anywhere.
What's up, Mario Trujillo?
It was in America, outside of America.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
Even in countries that didn't even have a black population of 0.1%, where you couldn't find somebody who didn't know what Black Lives Matter was.
Yeah.
But there's one person who's connected to Black Lives Matter's brand that's significantly harder for most people to remember. That is Patrisse Cullors. Patrisse Cullors was one of the 3 founders.
Just the name. Oh, I made a really bad joke in my head. I made a really bad joke in my head I'm not allowed to say online. I'm fucking up to say it. Patrisse Cullors. Why is her name like that? Is it because she's a woman? Sorry.
Founding mothers of Black Lives Matter, and she was the
Read between the lines on that one.
leader of Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation when the movement was at its peak in 2020. She's also the main reason why the movement is a shadow of
Oh,
itself.
dude, 2020. What a horrible time for a lot of people. My wife and I, we lived our lives normally. Hell, at the end of 2020, going into 21, we facilitated a move from one state to the other because I was watching the markets and I saw how it was all working and we were actually able to move. So it was not that bad for us, but I also, again, do a lot of research.
Embroiled in tons of controversy, infighting, lawsuits, in a federal investigation.
Oh! Is that porn music?
Patrisse Cullors is the main heroine of this story, but she was once part of the Black Female Triumvirate, consisting of fellow non-profiteers Alicia Garza and Opal Tometi. In 2013, after George Zimmerman, the Peruvian everybody thought was
Oh, shit.
white for some reason, got off for shooting Trayvon Martin, there was outrage. And like the Ebony
Oh, dude, that whole thing was absolutely insane. I remember that.
Triforce, our trio of career activists, combined their powers of doing speaking gigs, bagging book deals, and making emotional tweets to form Black Lives Matter. And from the beginning, Black Lives Matter did not operate as a traditional nonprofit. Of
course
it wasn't
not.
really an organization in the beginning, more of a network filled with people that, while ideologically aligned with one another, were still operating within a decentralized structure. And the decentralization
Let's continue.
Decentralization was a feature, not a bug. BLM was supposed to represent something more than a formal organization. Initially. Now this presented complications from the go because it meant anybody could technically just throw up hashtag Black Lives Matter for any cause, even if it was just about filling their own pockets.
Now, and I feel that this was an intentional tactic made to obfuscate the actual money-making apparatus here. Because anybody could just throw it up and say, well, I'm Black Lives Matter. And like, well, no, but there's an actual org. Like Black Lives Matter is an organization that is making money. And so if people are like, I'm Black Lives Matter, I believe in the cause. And people are like, well, how do I support Black Lives Matter? And so people would go and they would Google, like, how do I support Black Lives Matter? And turns out there was a website for that at the top of the Google search engine. And you could go and donate. Not to Black Lives Matter, the movement, Black Lives Matter, the organization.
Like some pro-BLM Facebook page back in 2018 that got over 700K followers and was soliciting over 100,000 in donations
You don't say.
under Black Lives Matter's name. It would get suspended after it turned out to be some random Australian dude, Ian Mackey, who was just grifting. Really?
Hey, make your money, dude. Grift. I love it.
That Aussie was just ahead of the curve, because he wouldn't be the last nor anywhere near the most egregious grifter to use Black Lives Matter's name for the sake of stacking some paper. The thing that would really change everything for Black Lives Matter as a movement and Patrisse Cullors' role as its leading lady was in May 2020 when George Floyd died in Minneapolis and the rallying cry that people
And they burned down cities over this. And even when the autopsy came out, I was like, yeah, it probably wasn't because the cop was kneeling on his neck. It was probably because he was overdosing on fentanyl when his heart gave out. But those are just details.
who took to the streets to protest and riot yelled was Black Lives Matter. The outrage that poured out as a byproduct was disproportionate, rocking not just Minneapolis or even just the Midwest, but foreign countries across the globe seeing
And for everybody that was like, oh, those protests were paid. No, I think some of the organizing people were paid But I know people in my life who had Black Lives Matter stickers on their vehicles and would want to rock that on their vehicles, and we're proud to stand with it, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, so this resonated with a lot of people who are susceptible to the bullshit. Now, if you're like me and you're not susceptible to the bullshit, you looked at this and went, it's another propaganda war. Okay. All right. But, you know, again, the sad fact of the matter is law of averages says that most people are of average intelligence. And that also kind of correlates with the midwits and people who are just go along with the media narrative because it's what's easiest for them to go along. And so really what you were seeing is a lot of average people, average intelligence people who don't really research, don't know how to research, just kind of take the information that's given to them and they go, yeah, I'm just going to go along with that. Whereas people who are of lesser intelligence look at things and they go, well, I don't really understand that. That don't make sense to me. I don't really like that. And then you get people of higher intelligence that look at that and go, well, based on the details here that I'm seeing and all of the interconnected webs of information, I agree with the drunk redneck. He didn't finish Algebra 1 in high school, but even he can see that this is a scam. But for some reason, all these college-educated C students, man, they really got behind Black Lives Matter, didn't they?
Protests. Now, a lot of people will say that this was because the injustice at what happened in Minneapolis resonated with that many people.
Why is it always Minneapolis? Fuck, I forgot it was Minneapolis. What the fuck is wrong with the state?
Across the globe. I would say it was more due to the fact that everyone had been forced to be stuck in their homes for months because of the pandemic, had gone a little stir crazy, and opportunistically saw protesting as a conveniently righteous excuse for—
Oh yeah, remember, you had to wear a mask and would get arrested around the country by local municipalities, but as long as you were out there on Black Lives Matter, it didn't give a shit. You'd be out there in Black Lives Matter. Well, did you know that if you go and you have a family gathering of more than 6 people, because that fucking mattered, and you don't wear a mask, you're going to contaminate everybody. But there were hundreds of thousands of people in the streets all across America. They didn't say shit about these righteous people are out there. None of them are wearing masks, but that's because as long as you're protesting for Black Lives Matter, you're immune to COVID. COVID don't like the racists, so as long as you support Black Lives Matter, you won't get COVID. And it's just like, wow. That's a wild virus. I've never known a virus who cared about your personal beliefs.
them to finally go
Do you guys remember that? Please type in the chat. Please tell me you remember that.
outside and also raise ruckus against their local governments for not letting them touch grass. Because come on, bro. BLM protests in Greece, half the Afro-Greek population is just Giannis Antetokounmpo and his family. Now, from the beginning, Black Lives
That bro just says some names I don't understand.
Matter was seen as an integral and symbolic part of the protest.
No King's crap. The No King's crap was filtered out by Japanese American. Oh God, it moved. By Japanese American bro fest that happened over the weekends. His Japanese and U.S. friends. I've not even heard of that. I heard about the No King stuff. I've not even heard of what you're talking about, John. So I don't know if it got filtered out. Interesting. I'm out of touch, or I'm not in touch. I'm out of being in touch. That's what it is. I'm just out of being in touch. It makes sense. It does. My brain brained it. Your brain can brain it too.
Celebrities kneeling. You had politicians
kneeling.
I
remember all
Bro,
this
you
crap.
had white boys on their knees begging and
Oh my. Oh. I'm sorry. I see this and I'm like, this is demonic.
tears just for the
Just to be on your knees in front of another human being and giving them praise and talking about your sins against them. That is a demonic force working in our country. I'm not even going to fucking twist words on that.
privilege of kissing the feet of niggas to cleanse the evil white supremacist spirit from themselves. The mayor of Minneapolis was crying like a hoe in front of George Floyd's golden casket at his funeral. Man, 2020 was a fever-ass dream year.
Oh, Vegeta, that's my boy. That's my boy. I love Vegeta. I gotta hang up my Vegeta picture again because it's over there. I gotta hang up my Vegeta picture again. Vegeta's my boy.
Looking back, whole country just turned into Gotham City for 6 months. It was wild. But the wildest part was how much money Black Lives Matter was raking in from donors. It wasn't just individual
Andrew Knapp for $5. Think about how stupid the average person is. Now realize that half of them are stupider than that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, oh, dude, you're not wrong. That's the problem too. Is it like if you think that you are of average intelligence, which I've always thought, like, I don't know, maybe I'm on like the north side of average intelligence. I'm like 50.1%. That means that like half of the people in the country are dumber than me, and I don't like that thought. Like, I don't like that thought at all. Like that kind of worries me. And it's like within a few percentage points of yourself, you probably don't even notice somebody's intelligence. But then when you meet somebody beyond a few percentage points, you're just like, oh, that guy's really smart. Or, dude, how the fuck does this guy just not live on crayons? Like, his diet is crayons for breakfast. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, Crimson Law, Kakarot, right? Hey, shut up. Vegeta's my boy. I have extended family that did the kneeling thing. Oh my, that's disturbing.
Donations from regular people or donations from celebrities. Nah, major corporations like Amazon, Google, and Nike were pledging millions.
Yeah. The Amazon founder Jeff Bezos saying he'd be happy to lose customers who oppose that company's support of Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter in 2020 would get more donations in a single year than any other black-run nonprofit in history, accumulating over $90 million. And this is where things get fun. Because for anyone who wasn't a fucking toddler in 2020, you know for a fact that Black Lives Matter in Big 2026 ain't popping anywhere near as hard as it was in 2020.
Yeah, it was a movement. It was a fad. It was a fad for people to be like, oh my gosh, look at me, I'm wearing black and like I look so good. I definitely support black people. And like I just think this is a good movement. Like it's such a good movement. And I think that you should support black people. And then a black dude would get up in some white bitch's face and they'd be like, what are you talking about? You're crazy woman. You don't understand the suffering of black people, screaming at a black man. And he's just like, bitch, I am black. It's just, no. You might look black, but you're not spiritually black. And they would say shit like this.
I like the black people that are like, why are none of you mad at the black people that sold us to begin with?
Mm-hmm. It's because they weren't spiritually black. My wife just said this. She goes, and then the black people were like, then why aren't you mad at the black people who sold black people into slavery from Africa? And my response is what these harebrained white women say is that, because what you don't understand, bitch, is that those were spiritual colonizers. They were spiritually white. They didn't have the spirit of a black man. And it was only the black man that got sold into slavery and had to suffer all that. Those were the true black men because they weren't spiritually white like you. What? It just... White bitches are insane. Let's continue.
Where it basically...
But tell me you didn't hear shit like that online. Chat, tell me that shit wasn't like all over the place. It was some hair... The problem is I think I actually sounded smarter than most of those bitches trying to make fun of them. That's what they all fucking sounded like. Like, it was ridiculous.
Put the globe in a rear naked chokehold. And this isn't just because of fading trends. No, it's because Black Lives Matter themselves destroyed the reputation of their own movement. How? By doing the most stereotypical,
dumb, ignorant, retarded, worthless pieces of...
Oh, he said retarded. All right, that's an OG. He knows the R word.
Black shit I've ever seen from a mainstream nonprofit.
White people shouldn't speak for black people unless the black people don't say what they're supposed to. Then it's okay to tell them they're wrong about not being oppressed. White Karens have the most privilege in this world. They do, dude. Oh, man.
BLM's leaders, their self-enrichment schemes, financial mismanagement, and eventual disgracing of the Black Lives Matter brand came from two main issues. The first was the decentralization aspect of Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that was the whole money-making scheme, is like if you were donating to Black Lives Matter, you thought you were donating to protests. No, you weren't. Those were just a bunch of brainlets that were going along with something that supposedly made them feel good. That was part of the scheme.
Like I said, BLM was meant to be more of a rallying cry that anybody who fucked with the message could use to push their own pro-racial justice movements. But this lack of structure also meant that bad actors looking to get rich quick could use BLM to get an easy lick, starting their own chapters where they could just take the money for the cause being filling up their bank accounts and buying designer. One perfect example is an albino fella named Sir Major Page. Bro was running Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta, an organization completely unaffiliated with the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. He made money. He also had lost his tax-exempt status years before this. Neither of those facts stopped him from taking donor funds like he was running a proper nonprofit. But he racked up almost $500,000 in 2020 alone. And of course, he used it to ball out. He bought suits, he bought guns, he even bought a whole house while pretending any of that money was being used for charitable purposes. His kingly lifestyle off of ill-gotten wealth was very short-lived, though, because he was arrested in late 2020 for wire fraud and money laundering, of which both he would be convicted. Another example of
that's where he made the mistake. He should have hired somebody to do those things for him, so it couldn't be traced back to him.
Rogue unaffiliated BLM chapter leader using the brand to grift was Monica Cannon Grant, a prominent organizer in the BLM ecosystem who founded a nonprofit called Violence in Boston in 2017. She led several protests all throughout 2020.
Now we're getting into some of the stuff that I don't know. Like, I thought I followed this really well. He's doing great. Like, I am learning things. I did not know about any of these people. I love it. He took the first 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 6 minutes to set everything up. And now it's like, oh yeah, I remember this. I remember that. And now he's getting into it. I like this.
And received tons of money in donations, which she and her husband, Clark Grant, were stealing. Because of course they were. In March 2022, a federal grand jury indicted.
Wait, so do you guys know any of this? Is this new information to you guys? Because, like, I didn't know that there were this many people grifting off of this. I knew there were some. I thought there was, like, but I didn't know that there were, like, I don't know these names. I don't know these people. I don't know these stories. This is new information to me. And I try to keep my ear to the ground on all this stuff. Chat, what do you say? Is this, so Tuesday, Violence in Boston, so a Tuesday.
Monica and Clark on an 18-count indictment, including fraud and conspiracy.
Motherfucker, it's Monday. It's not even Tuesday yet, but yes, you're correct.
Conspiracy charges. These charges would later be expanded to 27 counts in a superseding indictment the next year.
Whoa.
The Grants has siphoned over $1 million in donations and grants intended for youth.
Okay, guys, I think we need to start a Black Lives Matter movement. I think we need to... it will be, we'll call it Black Lives Matter, supported by the whitey. Repent against your whitenness and hail the blackness of other people. And I'm gonna set up a donation page and make it a 501c3. And I need, I'll split some with you guys, but like you guys need like make videos, be like you support this, and then and I'll split some with you guys, like 5% or 10% of like whatever we make. But what do you think? What do you think? I mean, or is the grift over? Do you think I could be like a white man and be like, we need to revive the Black Lives Matter movement? But I don't know. Maybe we can make money. I'm always late to these things, though. It's probably over. Let me know when the next Lives Matter movement starts. Maybe it's Smurf Lives Matter one day, and we'll get on the ground floor of that and grift.
mentorship programs, and a retreat for young men affected by gang violence to buy meals at fancy restaurants, cars, vacations, and of course Monica had to get her hair did and nails done with some of that money too. And she also defrauded the government for
That's just evil. I have no comment other than that's just evil. Hey, you know, all these bad men that live in bad areas where there's literally, it's just a gang war all the time. It's just a war on the streets. Your house can get lit up with a gun all the time. It's like, we should really help these young men. Oh, by the way, I'm just going to take that money and go, man, God, these people are just atrocious.
100K in COVID-19 unemployment relief funds too by concealing her income and lying on mortgage applications about violence in Boston's finances. Bitch was just scamming everybody. Now, some of you would say,
I just figured out the perfect video title. I'm going to call this, when I clip this and put this online, I'm going to call it Learning About Black Lives Matter as a White Man.
well, Mikey, these were chapters that had nothing
Hey, that's Broly. He's Asian. Well, I mean, technically he's Saiyan. We don't know if they're closely related to white people or Asians, but that's Broly. I know him.
to do with Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation at the end of the day. It's unfair to disavow the whole movement just because of a handful of unaffiliated bad eggs. See, I'd agree with that if BLM GNF didn't
pillage and plunder
money at a level that made the fraud these smaller chapters pulled look like light work. And this finally brings me to the second major issue BLM had: Patrisse Cullors herself. A brief background on Sister Patrisse. She was born in LA in 1983, the 80s and early 90s being some of the most violent years for the Bay Area. The Rodney King riots in 92 rocked LA especially hard, and that, along with some police corruption scandals, left the Los Angeles Police Department in a rough state for a couple years. And
I was way too young to I was a baby when the Rodney King riots happened, so I don't know any about it. So for me, I've never actually looked into it, but I've heard some people who were alive during that time period. In fact, Nerdrotic, he was alive. He was in prison during that time period, and even he said that was wild. That was absolutely wild. So, hey guys, give me just a second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. We're gonna finish this video. Like this is hilarious. This is absolutely hilarious. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Oh, My daughter's over here holding one of the snakes, and she's like, Dad, hold the snake. Hold the snake. Because Goku is based on Sun Wukong, maybe the Saiyans are Chinese. Based.
Made the already bad crime wave even worse. Patrice's mixed ethnic neighborhood of whites, blacks, and Latinos was pretty dangerous, mostly due to gang violence and drugs, and she had witnessed several relatives manhandled and arrested by cops right in front of her. There was a lot in her backstory that adds up to her becoming an activist in the future. But
Makes
not only
sense.
did she get into activism, she's only been an activist. Patrice Cullors has been a full-time career activist almost her entire adult life. There's no record of any traditional employment in her work history, or even
That's
any evidence that
insane.
while working with all these nonprofits, she was ever responsible for personally navigating the fiduciary responsibilities of a 501c3. Now,
So wait, you're telling me I can just go and I can just complain about shit that like I feel would empower? Well, I got to pick like minority groups or like some made up like Smurfs. Like dude, I'd be going out and like fighting for the Smurfs if I can make like millions of dollars. It'd be like these lawmakers are so unjust to the Smurfs you don't even know. And you think the Smurf, that is a derogatory term, by the way. Can I do that? Can I do? Nah, I'm probably too white.
the next interesting fact about Patrice is that
Of course, then again, the people that have profited the most off of Black Lives Matter and any social justice movement are white women. So, hey, babe, I need you to grift for me. Okay. You guys heard it here. The wife is going to grift for me. She's going to start saying some like stupid liberal shit, and then we're going to make millions. Okay, you good? You don't have to believe it. You just pretend. Just like on like TikTok. She's smiling uncomfortably, predominantly because she's playing a game and I'm bothering her. So are you not going to be?
she calls herself a trained Marxist.
We actually do have an
Oh, that's not
frame. Myself and Alicia in particular
A
are
trained
organizers.
Marxist.
We are trained Marxists. We are super versed on sort of ideological theories.
Now, what does that mean?
No,
'Cause
you're
when-
not. You're dumb as a box of rocks, guaranteed.
When I think of trained Marxists, I think of some Cold War Soviet
I also think my wife would do a good job.
spy or agitator.
Which, by the way, go check out Metalhead Maiden on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Metalhead Maiden. She's awesome. She makes some funny shit, dude. She makes some really funny videos, actually.
Well, we never get a good definition, and honestly, by the time we get through this video, it's going to be pretty obvious that Patrice herself isn't really sure what a trained Marxist is either.
Did she actually read Karl Marx? I bet she's like, we're trained Marxists. She's never read Karl Marx. To be fair, I've only read quotes from Karl Marx. Babe, do we have the Communist Manifesto? Oh, we don't. I thought we did. Oh, yeah. Nah, we got Hitler's book, but we ain't got the Communist Manifesto. I also got the Book of Mormon here, too. Also some books on the Norse. Got the Bible. And then, books that make you happy. Like Call of the Wild by Jack London. We also got that, too.
The final piece of the pie is Patrice's standing in the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation. That is, that she was the sole board member in 2020 when BLM would trend like crazy because the other two founders, Alicia Garza and Opal Tometi, had already stopped participating in day-to-day operations with BLM to work on their other projects and organizations years ago. In summer of 2020, Patrice would go from BLM GNF's sole board member to its executive director. She was now the most influential person involved with Black.
Dude, she was making so much money on podcasts. I'm pretty sure Eric Cartman literally went activist for the Smurfs. Karl Marx, the biggest LARPer of all time. Oh, he was too. And what's so funny is you have to go pay to see his freaking gravesite. It's so funny.
Lives Matter, and the person who had the most, if not the sole control over the windfall of money BLM was being sent over the next few months. This career activist and trained Marxist who had never had a non-activist related job her entire adult life was now the gatekeeper of tens of millions of dollars. And this bitch had no idea what the fuck she was doing. Because in an interview, she said this.
First of all, number one, I actually did not know what 990s were before all of this happened.
It's confusing.
Yeah, she didn't know what an IRS Form 990 was. She's gone on to say that
I also do not know what that is, but I'm also not working for a nonprofit, so fuck, I'm not average intelligence. I'm just a dumb redneck.
Term is triggering and puts activists at risk. Bitch, are you serious? Like, are you playing dumb to have some sort of plausible deniability? Or are you actually dumb and despite being a career activist and involved with nonprofits for most of your adult life, you've somehow never understood or learned about the required financial disclosures for all nonprofits? This was who was in charge of BLM GNF. And the writing was really on the wall for financial mismanagement from the get.
I mean, but like if she made her money, like that's what this was really all about. She wanted to make her bag.
Because did you know you can barely find anything about BLM's finances up until like 2021? That's because the movement operated under fiscal sponsors like Thousand Currents and the Tides Foundation. This means that BLM as an entity didn't need to file any independent IRS Form 990s and could just move in financial secrecy for years. So it's possible that Patrice was telling the truth here and she didn't know that 990s were a necessity. Because technically they weren't for BLM, not until the movement giganticized overnight because of George Floyd. Regardless, the queen mother of Black Lives Matter was...
Hey, that's not right. You can't crown a white woman. This is about a black woman. You can't. You need to... oh my God, dude, it would have been so funny if he would have done an edit here to make this to make this woman look black. Oh man, that would have been hilarious. That would have been gold. Oh.
Either a dumbass or a charlatan. Either way.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait.
Into the movement giganticized overnight because of George Floyd.
Wait.
Regardless, the queen mother of Black Lives Matter was either a dumbass or a charlatan.
Oh, shit. I used to watch his channel. Fuck, what's his name? Nick, fuck, what's his name? He had that cocaine meltdown, and then they came and took his kid. Shit, what's his name? Babe, who's the lawyer we used to watch on YouTube? Nick Rekieta. Yeah, Rekieta Law. Oh yeah, Rekieta Law. Dude, that guy lost his fucking mind. Is he still doing shit? Like, I watched him for like a year and a half, 2 years, especially after like the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. Like he was, and then he just kind of started getting weird, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch him anymore. And then like a year after I stopped watching him, all of a sudden, like, oh wow, he went off the deep end. Him and his wife both. Wow. Like I remember showing pictures of him, and my wife, she saw pictures of them both, and she looked at and my wife looks at his wife, and she's like, I remember seeing her when she was healthy, and she's like, now she just looks like a fucking drug whore. And dude, huh? Not your words, but that was the sentiment. That was the sentiment. I wasn't like quoting you exactly. I was using the sentiment. All right, fine. I'm gonna get back to the video. Why you got to do this? I don't ruin your streams. Of course, then again, your streams are probably more successful than mine. Yeah, people very much like big blue eyes and big tits on stream. Apparently, I can't compete with this. I'm a drunk redneck. I'm joking.
Either way, anyone who was paying attention could have seen what was coming from a mile away.
He pulled a DSP one point and forgot to turn off the camera. Yeah. No, I heard that was not a self-care thing. Somebody enhanced the audio and it did not sound, it sounded like somebody else. Yeah, that was a wild thing with Nick Rekieta.
Patrice would tell reporters and gullible motherfuckers in early 2021 that she and BLM GNF were focused on reinvesting funds into black communities. But multiple BLM affiliated local organizations by late 2020 and into 2021 would say they weren't seeing any of those funds. In fact, BLM GNF wasn't being all that transparent about how the foundation was being run at all.
Hell no,
Several
I
of
wouldn't
these
either.
Grassroots organizers
I'm
and
making
chapter
$90 million.
leaders would band together to form the BLM 10 and start launching complaints about the lack of transparency and resources. They were basically going, hey, where's the money, Patrice? Didn't you get all that money from Apple and Nike? Where the fuck did it go? But Patrice couldn't be bothered with any of these niggas. Nah, she was busy. Not with being the executive director, though. See, Patrice was the foundation board's sole voting director and held literally 0 board meetings. So yeah, she was literally the queen of Black Lives Matter.
Which I believe if you're on a 501c3, you're legally required to have so many board meetings spaced out apart. I cannot remember what the time interval is there, but yeah, I believe that that's what the thing.
With sole discretion over tens of millions of dollars and no accountability. And how did she use that money? Well, in reports on the foundation's finances in 2022, we got to see some classic nonprofit insider economics. For one, there was security. Patrice, as a racial justice prophet with a lot of nonprofit profits, had to make sure these hateful crackers and envious Negroes didn't try to take her out. So she had to hire a top-tier security service.
Yes, absolutely. I got $90 million. I need to protect what makes that $90 million.
This happened to be run by her brother, Paul Cullors. Paul received
Oh, nepotism plays a role in this. That's wild.
over $840,000 for security and consulting services under his firm, Black Ties LLC, aka Colors Protection LLC, in fiscal year 2021, and then another whopping $1.6 million.
In this context, that last name is so fucking good.
Okay, that's not really the best look, hooking your brother up with millions of dollars of donor money, but at least he was providing an actual service. At least he was doing a real job. For another guy whose pockets Patrice filled, Damon Turner, that wasn't really the case. See, Damon is Patrice's baby daddy, and she would pay him nearly $970,000 for creative and live event related services through his event.
Oh, the nepotism continues. This is what I didn't know any of this. I knew it was bad. I didn't know it was this bad.
Company Trap Hills LLC in fiscal year 2023. Problem with this is that literally no work was performed by Trap Hills LLC in 2023. Instead, it was claimed the payment was for past services. But that ain't close to the end of it. Colors' family weren't the only ones in BLM GNF's inner circle getting this foundational money. There was also Shalomia Bowers, the treasurer and board secretary of the foundation. Essentially the only person in BLM.
That is the gayest looking black guy I think I've ever seen. What is he wearing?
GNF, who got to play with all the foundation.
All right, it's not the gayest, but like he's up there.
Money as much as Queen Patrice. And he paid over $2 million to a consulting firm for management services. What was the name of this consulting firm? It was Bauer.
That bro is way too. He's using a lot of anime waifus in this. And I don't even know if they're waifus, but I could tell where this content creator's mind is. Let's continue.
First Consulting. Yeah, the board secretary of the foundation was basically sending checks to himself. Now, we could say
I would.
The
Why not?
nonprofit was just
dumbass people sending you $1 million a month. Why would you not do this?
Qualified.
I mean, obviously, if you're an honest person, you wouldn't. But like, you know, if you don't give a fuck about being honest, why would you not do this?
Cost-effective providers. You know, if we were retarded. Those of us who graduated from elementary school and know what happens when you put 2 and 2 together know what was going on. BLM GNF was run by...
But the problem is, if you actually look at the critical thinking scores in America, critical thinking has radically declined since the late 1970s, and most people actually don't know how to think beyond first level thinking. They don't know how to think if this, then that. What?
I'm asking out of courtesy, not because I actually need your permission.
Hold on. Hold on. Apparently my wife is asking out of courtesy, not permission. Ask the panel.
There are 2-week-old kittens. Their eyes aren't even open yet. Their mom and siblings died.
Oh, shit.
Vanna has them right now, but she can't take them to work. Can I go get them? She already has people.
All right, we're taking in kittens to fucking heal these little
They already
bastards.
have families lined up when they're old enough.
All right. Yeah, no. Yeah, like, you know I'm not going to say no to
That's why I
animals.
said it was a courtesy.
Yeah, like, you just...
It's why it was a courtesy.
I mean, of course we're going to take in animals that are injured and need help. Hey, no, I don't. All right, come here, Abacus. Abacus the snake. I named him Abacus because he's thoughtful and he thinks. All right. All right, I got to play the video and keep going because I'm reacting to stuff on stream, but we are going to take in some little kittens until they're old enough to get home. He does not like me right now. It's okay, buddy. He's kind of cold, sweetheart. He's also a big boy. He needs to lose some weight. Why don't you go take him and put it? Come on.
He also just ate a while ago.
Well, yeah, that's true. He did just eat, but he still needs to lose some weight. He's a thick boy. Go put him. Go take him upstairs. All right.
Love you, Dad.
Love you too, little one.
A clique
Yes,
who
that
decided
is-
to spread the wealth
that is
around their
Abacus.
little inner circle first and foremost before getting it to anybody else. This isn't fraud necessarily, but it set off a bunch of red flags for charity watchdogs. And somehow
Of course it did.
got worse. See, there's this thing about black
And here's the thing: there was no outrage. Like there's like people like us were watching this on the internet. We're just, oh my god, this is so bad. There was no outrage. There was no public. There was no public like, hey, they were using you against you. They were using your emotions against you. No, it's just like the white people all forgot that Black Lives Matter. And so these people kind of got off,
grifters especially, where a lot of them aren't satisfied
without the, they got off in the court of public opinion. Isn't that wild?
with the low-key clandestine white-collar type grifting. Nah, niggas have to show off. In 2022, it was revealed that back in October of 2020, BLM GNF with donor money had purchased a $6 million, 6,500 square foot mansion in Studio
That is
City,
like
California.
2.5
Now,
times my
BLM
house. That's
GNF
insane.
tried to claim it was a campus for black artists in a fellowship program. But the output across the first 17 months after the campus was purchased was negligible, save for being used as a backdrop for Patrice's YouTube videos.
I was gonna say, like, I bet them black artists were there were the people that were doing YouTube videos that were a part of the organization. It was probably like 3.
Maybe Afro-Marxism is different, but buying a multi-million-dollar mansion with donated funds doesn't sound very Marxist-coded to me. As more news about BLM GNF's finances came out, Patrice realized that she might have grifted a little too close to the sun and had to finally step out of the spotlight and step down from her position as executive director.
It's like, hey man, like too many people are noticing that I'm scamming them, and I just don't. I'm not built for this pressure anymore. Like I've scammed so many people out of so much money. And what I really think I need to do is I'd take time, discover myself. I've been an activist most of my life. I need to just really reflect on me for a little while, and get away from being noticed that I'm scamming people. Because, it's just what's best for them, the people that I'm scamming, and it's what's best for me, right? That's probably what the bitch said. I'm paraphrasing.
Not even a full year after assuming the role to begin with. Now, stepping down didn't mean that she was planning on returning to a more humble lifestyle.
Hell no!
She planned on keeping those 4 properties worth over $3 million she had bought while she was the executive director.
Okay, I do. I rent
These
them bitches
include
out for a premium.
$510,000 home in South LA, an almost $600,000 ranch in Georgia, an over
I would take the $600,000 ranch in Georgia. That looked gorgeous. I mean, she's got good taste. Like, come on. Like, she's got good taste. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, Liz, it's a neighborhood. I'm not about that.
In South LA, and almost 6.
Like, but this, you're in the middle of the woods. Come on, guys. She's got good taste, right? I mean, that's the one thing we can't say about this woman. It's like, oh, no, she scams some people. But, like, also, I would live there. That looks fucking gorgeous. The stonework on the front door. It's been updated a little bit. Back in the woods, like, buy large mansions. I'm good with it. I'll buy large mansions. I do it. Rednecks love them ranches. Hey, don't stereotype me. I mean, it's true, but like, I just don't like being stereotyped that quickly. Or when I'm this sober. But you can stereotype me when I'm drunk. I'd be all right.
$100,000 ranch in Georgia, an over $415,000 custom home in Inglewood, and
that yellow house looked like trash, but like, I don't know, maybe she's into that.
$1.4 million compound in Topanga Canyon. Now, Patrice swears she didn't use any donor funds to buy any of this.
Yeah, taste isn't the problem here. You don't know that taste isn't the problem.
Those 4 homes across the country worth over $3 million were bought with her own money, which she earned from her book deals and a Warner Brothers production contract. Because Miss Trained Marxist turned out to be a complete hoe for any American.
Now, she's a capitalist. I love how all these Marxists use the capitalist system to get rich while espousing a system that is antithetical to what would have made them rich. It's so fucking good.
American corporation.
These people are absolute fucking crooks and shams. I love it.
Now offered her a deal. While we have no evidence to prove that Patrice didn't buy all this with her own money, the timing was...
Don't be a stereotype. Fuck you. I'll be whatever I want. I'll be a stereotype all day long and twice on Sundays if I feel like it. I feel like I went a little hard there. Oh, well.
Still suspicious. And another strong, independent black woman who thought similar was Candace Owens. Candace.
I'm so glad that the Candace Owens thing is blowing up right now because, dude, I remember years and years and years ago when she was getting real popular, she did a thing on Joe Rogan. And like, I was watching that interview the first time she was on Joe Rogan, like, all right, who is this chick? And I was listening to what I was like, she's saying all the things that sounds like what a Republican or conservative would say, but it just sounds like what they would say. It's not actually what they would say. She's like, global warming isn't. She was just like, climate change isn't real. Global warming isn't real. And I was like, that's a talking point from the early 2000s when people were like, oh yeah, no, like the climate definitely changes. Like we can see it obviously, but we don't control it. It's not man-made. But she was saying points. Candace Owens, the reason that she's so popular on the right is because idiot people on the right, not all of them, because I'm obviously further right than she is. She says things that sound like they're right wing. They're not. But it's close enough to trick you into thinking that she's right wing.
Taking a break from peddling schizo
Shamdis
theories.
Owens. Oh, Shamdis Owens. I like that. That's great.
And revelations she received in her dreams, tried to visit Patrice in 2022 at her Topanga home. That's the compound worth almost $1.5 million. That's also in a gated neighborhood that is mostly white and literally 1% black. The 1% on Topanga's census might actually just be Patrice and her family. Anyway, Candace pulled up to the Queen Mother's compound to ask for an interview in preparation for a documentary she was planning about BLM's funding and spending. But Patrice's white security guard said she wasn't accepting visitors. So Candace and her small film crew left. Despite not even interacting with Candace face to face, Patrice still took to Instagram Live in tears about how traumatized she was.
Okay, so this is insane. In real time right now, I am watching Patrice Cullors do a live claiming that I went to her property and demanded to speak to her. And she's, I only way I can describe it is she sounds like she's really scared. So
the only reason Candace got famous on the right is because the left got crazier than she did. That Candace has been a left-wing operative the entire fucking time, dude. Go back and watch the first Joe Rogan interview. Well, maybe the only one. I don't know. And if you've been in this shit as long as I have been, you're just like, I don't trust this woman. Never watched her videos, never, nothing. I see clips and I'm just like, she sounds like she's saying the things that she needs to say, but there are little things in there that I'm like, nope.
we went to the property and asked if there was anyone that we could speak to. Very politely, by the way. We've got cameras in tow, so there's no way she can, it's all on camera. And we just said, is there anyone we can speak to? Nobody asked us to leave. The person went inside. It was just a white man that we saw outside that was providing security, which is super interesting because obviously Patrice here is anti-police. And so she's, oh my God, I think she's crying on this live, pretending that she was harassed.
This is the person who created Black Lives Matter and was given over $90 million to do jack shit with.
Oh, she's crying on a live stream. She's pretending to be oppressed. You mean like she has been pretending the entire time while making $90 million? Yeah. How funny. These people are so fucking obvious. It's fucking stupid. It's why I don't even like talking about them anymore. It's like, hey, do you want me to talk about the obvious thing that's really fucking obvious that if you were, any sort of fucking thinky thinker or, you woke up this morning and could breathe, you could obviously see what's obviously happening. These fucking people piss me off. The right is a sucker for anyone with dark skin to say what the right is thinking. Dude, that's fucking real too. And which is such bullshit because we have guys like Clarence Thomas and Thomas Sowell. And like actual motherfuckers who are learned in ways that I wish I could be. I wish I was as smart as Thomas Sowell and Clarence Thomas. But yet the right wing will just, because they're so fucking afraid of being called racist, instead of being like, hey, like, you're racist. No, I'm not, because I like Thomas Sowell. I like Clarence Thomas. I know what they stand for. It's just like, we'll accept the blonde bimbo. We'll take Candace Owens. We'll take the black bimbo espousing to be right wing, even though she's totally fucking not, and it's very blatantly obvious in her speech patterns. Dude, it pisses me off so bad. I said blonde bimbo. I didn't mean, I was gonna say black bimbo, but I didn't say it right. You guys get it. What?
Well, to be fair, she wasn't the only one. There was also
Shalom.
Bowers, who might actually be the biggest.
I don't know why I heard that noise and all I heard, yes, and Pena. Anyway.
Grifter of them all in this whole story. But things were already getting rocky before that, because in early 2022, Washington State listed BLM GNF as involuntarily closed for failing to file required reports. California's Department of Justice,
of course, why would they file reports? They've already made $90 million. Go fuck yourself. We're going to take the money and run.
Issued delinquency notices and threatened personal files against Patrice and Shalomia.
So wait a minute. The government killed Black Lives Matter because Black Lives Matter didn't file paperwork? How dare you kill this absolutely righteous group trying to solve the problems of black Americans because they were totally grifting off of people and made $90 million and they wouldn't pay the government the money that the government was. Oh my gosh, dude, communism just eats itself. It's so funny.
Forcing the foundation to shut down its online fundraising in February 2022. And Amazon suspended it from Amazon Smiles charity platform. Still, unlike Patrice, who at least stepped down because everyone calling her a grifter and a scammer was triggering,
Shalom.
didn't go anywhere. That donor money was just too addictive for him to give it up. But if he wasn't going to give it up willingly, he was going to have to give it up.
I'd grift the fuck out of it if I could make $90 million. Will you guys help me grift for like, dude, I grift the fuck out of shit from $10 million. I don't give a shit. Will you guys help me do that? Like, can I grift? Like, I don't know.
Because Black Lives Matter Grassroots, a network of over 50 worldwide BLM chapters, would sue BLM GNF in September of 2022 for alleging that
Shalom.
Bowers executed a hostile takeover and siphoned over $10 million to his own firm while
So he didn't even make that much money compared to this other woman.
locking chapter leaders out of any digital assets. Only 2 years after the Summer of Love, and BLM was waging a non-profit civil war over.
Hey, those people are way too white to be representing the black people civil war. We need you to get in there with some Photoshop. You got to put some face paint on the. Make these motherfuckers look like Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder. I want all of these white men to look like white men with black faces, like in Tropic Thunder. This is way too white to be representing the Black Civil War.
Who got all that donor money. Now, the case was dismissed by a judge in June 2023 on procedural grounds, but the drama did rip open.
What do you mean, you people?
The curtain and show everybody just how greasy shit had gotten over in BLM land.
Greasy, that's racist against Italians. Anyway, moving on.
And it was far from the end of its legal battles. In 2024, that shit would get absurd when BLM GNF sued its former fiscal sponsor, the Tides Foundation, for $33 million, claiming, with no sense of irony, that Tides improperly with.
Did you just use a blue people to represent a black people? That's a blue people, sir. That is a blue people, not a black people. Just because they both start with B doesn't mean they're from the same racial group. I'm having way too much fun with this. I'm gonna get canceled.
That Tides improperly with.
Nobody's getting canceled nowadays. Not until they, get back in power and all that. We got a few years. It'd be all right.
Held donations. Tides responded by saying the money was in a collective action fund for the broader movement and not the griftastic scandal-ridden foundation, and that transferring it would violate donor intent. The problem with this is that Tides had transferred $8.7 million to another sponsor, One Love Global, for BLM Grassroots. But One Love Global's IRS filings showed only $2.2 million in revenue, with the millions of other dollars written off as deferred revenue. Basically,
oh yeah, I'd defer that revenue all day and twice on Sundays. 3 times on a Saturday, depending on how good the blow is. Anyway.
Millions of dollars had just disappeared.
Maybe 4 times.
From the public record of the sponsors of BLM Grassroots. You literally cannot donate any money to any Black Lives Matter institution without there being a major risk of your money just going poof before it ever got used for any of the things you might have donated.
It doesn't go poof. That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. It goes into a grifter's bank account, which is it's only poof if you don't know what's going on.
After years of this type of bullshit,
Jimmy Kimmel didn't get canceled. He got fired because he wasn't funny no more and nobody wants to watch him.
Financial shenanigans, the litigation, and the state getting involved, the feds would finally have their turn. In October of 2025, just a few months ago, the U.S. Department of Justice launched a formal criminal investigation into BLM GNF, looking to answer the question we've all been wondering, but probably already know the answer to. Did the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation defraud donors during the 2020 protests and diverted/misappropriated tens of millions of?
They didn't misappropriate. They appropriated it exactly where it needed to go. In his bank account. Because they be kings and shit. Or whatever the fuck.
Dollars for personal use.
I don't fucking know.
BLM GNF finally changed it.
You misappropriated the money. Your Honor, I did not misappropriate the money. I know exactly what I do with. What did you do with? I put it in my bank account. Well, that's misappropriation. No, it's not. It appropriately went into my bank account. I'm confused. What are we not understanding here? Come on.
Their tone with this new heat and started purging
Black
their
bank
leadership.
accounts matter.
Finally,
Fucking shit. Black bank accounts matter. That's exactly what this is.
given Shalomia and his consulting firm the boot. Still, as of this month, the investigation is still ongoing. Rogue BLM chapter leaders are also still on grifting. Just this recent December, Black Lives Matter Oklahoma's founder, Tashella Sherry Dickerson, was indicted for diverting $3.15 million from the organization towards buying real estate, cars, vacays to the Caribbean since 2020.
But that wasn't diverted. That's where it was supposed to go. You stupid they diverted this money. They didn't divert shit. That money went exactly where the people thought it was. I'm like, man, we're going to get a bunch of fucking white Karens to give us a shit ton of money to go out in the street and talk about the suffering of black people. And I, as a black person, am going to go to the Caribbean and I'm going to have nice cars and I'm going to house. And guess what? It's all going to be funded by white fucking Karens who don't understand that I'm using these bitches to fund my fucking bank account.
And faces multiple counts of wire fraud and money.
White Karens are stupid. They deserve to be taken advantage of. I'm sorry. White Karens deserve to be taken advantage of.
Money laundering. Just like Monica Cannon Grant and Sir Major Page, Tashella wasn't affiliated with the foundation. But at this point, does it even matter when the foundation itself is caught up?
I don't like that picture of Vegeta. That makes me sad.
In just as many scandals. Somebody somewhere is probably using Black Lives Matter's name to scheme niggas out of their money. Black Lives Matter's fault.
But it wasn't that. It was white people. I guarantee if you look into the amount of people that donated to Black Lives Matter, it was mostly white people. Scheming white Karens out of money.
Fall from grace was brutal. Its assets have plummeted from the $90 million at its peak to around $28 million. Only 24% of the money that was raised in 2020 was ever distributed as grants to chapters and partner organizations. The rest has gone to operation expenses, legal fees, consultant payments, maintenance of its luxury properties, and endowments. So, is Black Lives Matter
endowments, an endowment.
The most heinous?
That was one of my only legit criticism is an endowment. But obviously, if you've never seen the word endowment before, you could probably say it as endowment. But yes, it's endowment. Yes.
Grift, the non.
But overall, this video is really good. I might actually subscribe to this guy's channel. He's pretty good.
Profit industrial complex has produced? Oh, fuck no. It's not even close. Because there are nonprofits like the Cancer Fund of America and the Reynolds Family Network that between 2008 and 2012 built donors out of over $187 million and were revealed to have donated as little as 3 cents of every dollar to cancer patients. Or the Kids Wish Network that over a decade channeled nearly $110 million to for-profit corporate solicitors and paid its founder and his consulting firms millions in fees while spending only 1 cent of every dollar on granting actual wishes for sick children. Like I said, not all nonprofits are scams. A lot of them are, though.
Most of them are.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. Fat bitches need to shut up, bro. I'm not gonna, like, in all respect and all honesty, like, not gonna lie, it'd be a lot of the fat.
That was an absolutely fantastic video. I have very few problems outside of the way that he pronounces a couple of words. Dude, we're going to share that video in the chat right now. That was absolutely fucking fantastic. I knew a lot of that. I did not know a lot of that. There was information that just kept popping up. I was like, oh, I heard about this. I heard about that. I didn't hear about this. I didn't hear about that. Absolutely fantastic video. You guys got to go Mikey No More. Go subscribe. I'm going to leave this. I'm going to go and subscribe. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning into A Drink with Crazy. I'm going to go back to Crimson Desert now because I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with Crimson Desert. I actually really like Crimson Desert, and I just really want to play it really bad before I have to go to bed. And there's an arrow challenge, and I suck at shooting arrows in these games and hitting targets. And I just, you know, in the words of some dude that probably lived at one time, when you suck at shooting arrows, cheat like a motherfucker. I feel like that's he can't stop when he wants to. He can stop when he wants. I can stop anytime I want to. Anytime. It's fine. I stopped. I was here with you guys. You've never seen me play Crimson Desert. How do you even know that I'm playing Crimson Desert? I was here with you on stream. Did I play Crimson Desert once here on stream with you guys? Don't look into past streams, please. It's just, you know, it's not. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. Yes to what? Yes to what? What are you saying yes to? Do I need to ban you? I'll ban you. No, I won't ban you. I won't ban you. What are you saying yes to? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning into A Drink with Crazy. And as always, until next time, which is tomorrow night, for the launch of Legend of Shallar, a book that has been in the works for 4 years, originated from the lore of this channel. I'll be joining with Daniel P. Riley and Maji Chan to talk about the creation of Legend of Shallar. Tune in tomorrow night. Spread the word. Good night, everybody, and God bless.